so much. That's so exciting. Do you know what? The age-old technological turn it off and turn it on again. We are now connected. Yeah. Welcome. Whilst everyone else jumps in, I just want to say such a massive thank you to Prune for joining us today, because she has been one of the most profound mentors in my life, and quite frankly is an absolute legend. And Martin does also know Prune as well. I think you met back in Glastonbury in 2016 when I started that training with you, that energy medicine training. So
it's been a while.
It has been a while, and it was only that once, and my goodness, there's been a lot of transformation since then.
Yeah.
So really,
well, you look great.
Thank you very much. I feel pretty good today. And actually, after the wettest January on record, we have some sun here today. Yes, I'm definitely feeling that. And you two look amazing too. Wow. What huge steps you guys have been taking these last couple of years.
Yes,
it has been absolutely massive. And yeah, I mean, you know, I said to Martin, I hold to the paradox of, I feel like I'm a diamond light witch, which feels incredibly powerful and wonderful, but I'm also a bit of a fraggle. So that might mean I have bad sleep and I'm a bit frazzled slightly easily. So, you know, it's both of those things all at the same time, but generally it is all going in the right direction.
And I get to enjoy all that.
You get to live with all of that and experience that. It really, I mean, I think the Fraggle and the Light Witch is absolutely perfect for that place of the resilience that we need at these times, isn't it? I mean, it is, especially those of us who are sensitive to energy, who are working in the sacred with the spiritual, then holding our own vibration in the middle of the big changes that are going on, in their beauty and in their absolute pain and chaos. It seems to me that that's the big work of our time. So I hear you, Nicola. I hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the diamond.
Yes. And you, if I could describe you, you're an energy expert, a consciousness educator. You have an incredible book that we must highlight called Your Radiant Soul, which is about awakening people's connection to their energy systems. But really, I want to highlight why you're so incredible at guiding people on their journey, because you are this unique instrument, this unique perceiver, I suppose. And I feel like that's been a journey to even understanding yourself. You perhaps didn't even realize the level of perception you had when you were younger. And of course, now you're teaching people in such profound ways. But I just would love to know, can you tell us a little story about when did you realize maybe the glasses that you were wearing, you know, metaphorically, were significantly expanded into a field of frequency that most people couldn't see? I would love to hear, just for anyone who's meeting Prune for the first time, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm still learning. The bluntest truth in that is I'm still learning. I'm still understanding how those levels of perception, as our consciousness is changing, of course, it's fine-tuning the antenna in all of us, isn't it? So every day there's subtle ways that I think, oh, I hadn't realized that about my perception before. But I think there's two examples in nutshell stories that most stand out. One is sitting while I was driving way too fast. I was an absolute racer when I was a teenager. I had many car crashes because I was way too adventurous, unbridled in my courage, let's say that, and driving a car really fast down these tiny country lanes. And I was suddenly aware of that, and we'll all be aware of the time when you have the sense that someone's looking at you. And I had that sense, but it was right in my energy field. So it was that somebody was there. So I looked in the rear view mirror, and there was a man with a cap sitting in the back of the car. Now, I've always been able to see spirit, always been able to see ancestors. So it wasn't alarming, not quite what I was anticipating whizzing down the road. And he said, then you need to stop. There's a car coming and you need to stop immediately. And so I did. I had enough resonance and it was so much part of my normal world that I pulled in straight away and braked hard. And with that, round one of these blind corners came another car going just as fast as I had. So that was a place where I realized, this is not just normal interaction. It's not like there's spirit world or energy and mundane life. The magic and the mundane are ultimately woven together. That could have been a moment when I transitioned into the ancestral realm or helped someone else transition. And so actually that was a powerful moment of awakening in my life, that there was almost a responsibility to the awareness as well. And then, so I was young then, I was 17. But then
Did you tell anyone about that afterwards? Or did you just tell someone you avoided a car crash, but you didn't go into the full detail of that?
I don't think I said anything, Nick. I mean, It was really the weaving of the world that I was aware of. I'm sitting here now, looking out the window, looking at the land that grew me. And I was always seeing non-human beings here. Always seeing the way that the energy of the trees and my energy, or the energy of the grass and the life inside the trees, not just their whole energetic structure and form, flowing, moving, settling in the winter, but the bugs, the animals that also had their amazing home in that tree. So I learned early on, I grew up in a big farming family. Pretty much you could say anything, and a lot of it was never going to be listened to anyway. So I always felt accepted, but not particularly normal. I always loved. But also, I was the last in a big family, loads of space, loads of time to myself. So no, I don't think I told anyone about that incident with the car, because I'd learned that there were things that we just didn't really, even if I said it, it couldn't land in people.
It couldn't be received.
Yeah. And then I guess the point that moved me into teaching was when I was in my early 30s and my kids were young, and I was watching this beautiful, beautiful friend of my maybe 7-year-old son at that point walking up the drive. And we all have an amazing soul light. And that's one of the things I love. We're going to, in a minute, get to talking about your amazing True North Spirit Compass. But that place of our own internal compass, the compass that we follow, that is a light that shines from our deep soul core and guides us forward. And as I was watching this little boy just beaming his energy up the path, I said to my husband, wow, his light is so strong. It's amazing, isn't it? And my husband said, I don't see energy. And I said, but you see that? He said, no. I said, but you see this soul light?
Yeah.
He said, no. And honestly, I didn't believe him. I could not imagine navigating the world without perceiving the magnificent beauty of every being. And so I quizzed him, I grilled him for a couple of hours. I then asked
poor Colin.
Poor Colin. Because I just couldn't comprehend my worldview as being utterly transformed in that context. I knew there were things that other people didn't see, perceive, understand. That's all fine, but this...
Where was the boundary?
Yeah, this most it would be like not being able to see people's eyes, or not be able to see people smile, or not be able to feel a hug. I couldn't conceive it as normal. And it was from that point on that I think in the drilling down into those conversations, really got to understand more okay, then there's ways that I can share, ways that I can help people understand their energetic anatomy, how we're made up, how we... So that was the 2 points that really leap forward in my memory as you asked that question.
Yeah, amazing. And I love the way you describe it, energy anatomy, because it is actually anatomical, even though it's not the physical anatomy. The way that you are able to distill what the ancients know, chakras, meridians, and also what you see, and put that into something which can be tangible, and something that someone who is connecting to energy for the first time, maybe they've been so conditioned not to see it or feel it, but as soon as you create that map for them, it really is like an anatomy. It's not just this, like, you know, indistinct ball. It has a structure, a geometry, and I think that's what's so powerful in what you teach. Highly recommend getting Prune's book, which I revisited last week, and that really gives you an amazing introduction to the anatomy, and it gives you such an empowerment. And I suppose, yeah, why do you do what you do? I suppose it's to empower people and to bridge that gap.
Totally. For me, understanding your energy means that we can transform the way we interact with the world. Like, if we think of all of these amazing fields of energy, you're a luminous field of energy, Martin's a field of energy, these cards are a field of energy, I am. And we all meet. And we know now with quantum physics how we impact each other in such profound ways, even through a thought. Even by the time we're aware of our thoughts, we've created either energetic resonance or dissonance. So we are incredibly powerful. And for me, the simple key in that is understanding how we can maintain our harmony, our balance, our energetic cohesion, so that we can each be part of the greater cohesion in this world, because my goodness, we need it. So absolutely, understanding energy is a bridge. Yoga is a form of energy. Laughter is a form of energy. Everything we are is energy. And it's kind of, it seems mysterious because modern views dismissed or forgot the catalogued information that the ancients had. We've got maps of meridians from thousands of years ago. We've got maps of chakras. We've got maps of auras and energy fields. All of that was normal. And yet with our scientific revolution, which brought wonders, it also gave a verification to some ways of thinking and dismissed others. And it feels like now, well, we've done that. And now we need to bring those two capacities back into wholeness.
That would be wonderful,
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear some people sometimes go, yeah, but you believe in energy. I don't believe in energy, as if it's optional. And I do think that meeting of science and esoteric was in my physics classroom, because there was definitely an equation that said E equals mc squared, which is energy equals matter, mass, times by the speed of light squared. So even in the realm of science, they are telling us from the age of 14 that energy and mass, matter are interchangeable and connected with light and the speed of light. So it's funny when I hear people say, I don't believe in energy, when if you really want to go super rational, you can go back to your physics class and look at least that equation before you go into the mystical esoteric traditions, which might feel a bit more difficult to connect to.
Yeah, there is that capacity to reduce into the knowing of matter, the knowing of science. And there's other ways of knowing, isn't there? I mean, but even when we look at the way that our modern medicine works with MRIs or ECGs, they're working with the energy of the body. This is electromagnetic energy that we're measuring and diagnosing through. So you're absolutely right. There's the potential for the mainstream scientific model to be really blinkered, or for it to do what science does, which is look at all of that evidence, understandings, theories, and weaving worldviews together. So we're going there. We're getting there. It's just we're having to house assumptions and dogma around some of our scientific views, aren't we? And so as we move forward together, it will be more and more important, because the mainstream medical understanding really is struggling to deal with stress. Energetic understandings of health and holism work with balance at the core. So that capacity to to bring stress back into the whole, to dissolve it so that you can live your fullest life. And more people now are looking for that balance.
Yes, absolutely. And so your work now has evolved into some very powerful teachings, and you hold space mostly in something called the Gathering Ground. Is that right? So tell us a little bit about your home, your universe that you've created to offer a safe space for people to learn more from you. What is the Gathering Ground, and where is that?
The Gathering Ground is one of the joys of my life. It's a community of people who are interested in energy and who are interested in kind of finding ways to apply it so that they can live in their fullness, whatever that is for you, for me, for that individual. So it's an online community, and I go in regularly to share. I was just writing yesterday. I was lit up with some understandings I wanted to bring forward. So I shared it first in the Gathering Ground, and we're having a great conversation about some of what I brought forward then. My amazing faculty go in and teach classes. There's a big catalogue of my live classes in there. And all of those are amazing things. All of those are beautiful. But you know what I really love is that we have 600 people in there, all who are desiring to bring their fullness, their love, their capacity, their radiant soul into the world and be supported while doing it. It feels like having communities of consciousness, communities of care, really are going to make the difference for all of us as we navigate these challenging times at the moment. So I light up anytime I'm working or being in the Gathering Ground. And it's a really remarkable space for self-responsibility and compassion. You know what? In the years that we've had it, we've never once had to mediate anyone for not being respectful.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is, isn't it? It's astonishing. Obviously,
that's a testament to the frequency that you're holding, and that's what you said before, the healing field. It's what is the container of consciousness that you're inviting people into, whether that's written or said or unsaid in many ways. So that is a testament to what you're holding.
Yeah, we really co-create that container very mindfully, and it's such a joy to be in there. And you guys are going to be in there
yes.
next week.
I think it is next week. Yeah, absolutely.
It sounds like a wonderful group of people.
Yeah,
I love how you described that whole scene, and yeah, I can't wait to meet some of them.
Yeah, it's really special. And especially in the kind of current polarization, the places that people are being pushed into through fear or anxiety or uncertainty, to have a space where we can be tender, be funny, just be authentic. Certainly that fires my passions for this work and gives me great support as well.
Yeah, amazing. And so how do people join the Gathering Ground? Is that through your website? Is that where they can find a link? It's like a membership on your website.
Absolutely. So my website also houses information about the courses in my course platform. Really anything from physical health to emotional to managing stress to increasing your vitality, right up to some of the beautiful ways to align with the seasons. So I've spent now, I mean, Nick, you helped me, well, going back 7 years ago. I've spent the last 7 years really looking at how can we work with the 3 different vibrations in our body system, the physical, the, let's say, connective, that place where the emotional, the mind, our consciousness through how we show up in our world, how we show up in our life, and then also the sacred, how we connect into why we're here, what our life purpose, what our soul purpose is. And it feels now that in my online course platform, there's some beautiful offerings in there for people to meet wherever they are in themselves. And then in my website, there's also the link to the Gathering Ground, more understandings on energy anatomy. I worked with an illustrator for several years to really create visuals of what I see. As well as
they are stunning, and that is such a brilliant bridge to help I mean, I know I was very good at perceiving and sensing energy, but I had no language for it. So I came from the energy what category. So it has been a journey for me. So I have to say those drawings that you had created were so helpful to really start to understand, oh, that's the edge of my aura, and the chakras are forming in this specific shape. It is giving, you know, a picture to the geometries that actually show up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I learned early on that I could use many, many words, many doodles, many hand expressions, but people couldn't land it. Well, one picture for me then to talk from created the understandings, because we all know it. We're all energy ourselves, so we all know it. It's deeply instinctive for us. But none of us had lessons in energy anatomy at school. None of us said to our grandpa, oh, grandpa, your aura's looking fabulous today. So we don't have the language for it. And I found that having the pictures to work from evokes that remembering in our system as well. Yes, and they're so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. And we're so looking forward to joining you next week. And that's really to share Martin's passion project that he's been working on for the past, I say 5 years, but I mean, it's been a lifetime, really.
It's been a long time. Trying to exactly create this language for myself to begin with, this language, because I've been illustrating and drawing my whole life. And for the same reasons, to try to, you know, tangentialize or crystallize some of these abstract ideas and remember. So I like that you use that word for us to remember.
It's really fascinating, Martin. You know, I've loved your work for as long as I've known it, several years now. And there's something about the synthesizing of, so if we think of like a great web of energy or a great stream, a great river of everything that's ever occurred in the world so far, as well as everything that will and everything that currently is. Every time I look at your art, I feel like you've dipped into that river, you've swum in it, and you've brought pieces and put them together in a really unique way. And it kind of blows my mind. I feel like, all right, I've sat with these cards, and any one image can move into so many different expressions of itself. Really beautiful. I mean, what a skill. But also there's something about the synthesizing of all of that frequency, all of that vibration into, well, I could say a single image, but I'm holding 50 of them here. So many, many, many images. What is the process like for you to do that? I was really fascinated as I was kind of looking at them from different cultures, different so much. What's the process? How do you find that essence?
So well, it's been a long process, but refining this language has been, especially the last maybe 5 years, I've really refined it, because my drawings started to become more and more iconic and archetypical in nature, because there's something trying to come through me to crystallize some of these ideas. And
hang on.
Yeah.
Oh. A big gulp of tea. Okay.
You okay?
I don't want to miss anything you said. I reckon you can talk again.
Yeah. So these are like allies that I have drawn. These are allies that live within us all. And how did they come has been in different ways. But a lot of meditations, a lot of rituals and ceremonies, and I can come up with. I have one little fast story I could say with one that really was where I was struggling. It was not coming through as clear as I wanted. I did a few versions, and it was just not landing. And it was earth, so it was the element of earth. And
that's one with the skull and all of the amazing
exactly.
energy. Yeah. That one really grabbed me.
Yeah. Well, that came through finally, because it was Easter coming up. Easter was coming up, and I needed to find a way to connect to Earth. I was not sure why, but I found out it was because I was too mental about, I needed to get in my body. So on Easter, or before Easter, I did a long meditation actually for days. And I, in my forest, we live in a forest here, I dug a grave and I made a casket and I ritualized the whole thing. So I had a friend help me. I got in the grave after a long meditation at 3 in the morning. So it's dark. Easter morning was coming. So with sunrise, I then got out of the casket again. It was covered with earth, like a real burial. And in that process, that ritual, I dropped from my mind about what earth is. I dropped in my body, in my lower chakras, and I just plugged into earth. And when the sunrise came, I got out of the casket, out of the ground.
Dug out of the ground.
Yeah, that image was just so clear. And that's just one example. That's 50 of them. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah. What a mama.
Yeah.
Overflowing.
Yeah, absolutely. And holding that light and holding the creativity and the destruction, and the life and the death.
Yes.
Really struck me when I
yes, we are earth, right? Our bodies are earth. It's just so obvious.
Yeah. She holds the bones of everything that ever was. Yeah. She
holds our dreams. We can give our dreams to the earth. She'll hold anything, even though it might be perceived as wrong or cruel or good or bad. She just holds it all.
Wow. So I'm assuming you didn't go through that level of process for every single card, Martin. Tell me, some of them were easy, some of them were
Some of them were easy. Yeah, in the way that they took a long time, but some of them maybe were easier because they'd been building on things that I've already kind of processed. So I didn't have to do such a heavy process. Yeah. So in that way, yeah, some of them were definitely easier.
And do you two use the cards? Do you two use them as a couple?
All the time. Well, we actually pulled a card last night, and it's funny because last night it was the same card as this picture behind us, and before we even pulled it, I was like, it's transcendence, and then I pulled it and it was transcendence. So that's the energy that we're working with at the moment. It's this purifying density to lightness, working in ourselves about any funky emotions we need to let go of so we can hold a frequency of lightness. So it's come up for clients. I'm using it with clients to set the energy of a space. So this card, which is also behind us, transcendence, is coming up for us together and individually a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you, Prune, because from your perspective as an energy practitioner, what do you think? What do you think is actually happening when somebody feels drawn to these cards, or to divination decks, like maybe for the first time, that is kind of feel drawn to them? Is it that, what is the longing, and why is it that it seems to be getting stronger now, especially for younger people? Younger generation seems to be more interested, and they've been growing up in this digital world. And it's this market of divination cards is actually growing a lot, and it's projected to almost double in the next 10 years. So I would like to hear, because you are in touch with so many people.
Yeah. In a way, I think you've just given us the key there. Young people, all of us now, are bathed in that digital age. We're bathed in the speed and essence of communication. So in a way, okay, I'm trying to find the start point of this. Every 25, 27 years, what I've perceived is that the consciousness color of our entire planet emerges slightly differently. So right now we're in the transition, very much like that transcendence card. We're in the transition from this kind of codes of consciousness that really encouraged speed of communication, that brought us the digital age, that brought us the internet. We're moving from that, which, although it put us on incredible connectivity, also gave us a lot of individualism within it. So we've got this more knowledge than we've ever had possible on a cognitional level, but we are struggling to understand how to bring wisdom instead of knowledge. So this card that you have behind you, this transcendence, is inviting that next level of how do we have all of the knowledge, but also access the wisdom. So moving in this transition time now with these young people and ourselves who are used to the immediacy of information and the increasing fineness of our physical vibration. We have the magnetic pole continuing to move very rapidly now on our Earth. Gravity and our electromagnetic holding is less and less with every year. So it's like we're kind of like that beautiful image behind you, we're kind of lifting. And as we lift in some way, still having to be deeply, deeply connected into the amazing energy of Earth, as we're in the middle of that shift, it means that I think probably the best way to say it is that our antenna are even more active. Yeah. So the spidey sense that we all have, some in abundance and some less, some that are being actively used and some that's still a bit dormant, that is increasing. So in a way, when we think about this divination deck or any of the other forms of ways that we can somehow have that communication between our individual soul and, as I would call it, the world soul. So much as Nick and I were just talking about energy being the bridge between conscious and non-conscious, cards like these help us bridge between that level of collective and cosmic information, which is just energy, and we're a part of it and we co-create it, in our individual form. So that calling, the antenna being so easily tuned in at the moment, as well as the deep questing, why are we here? What is the purpose of life? If it's not even safe to walk in certain streets, or if some governments are all being broken down in various ways, if our environment is being devastated, how do we find ways to bring the wisdoms forward? And that's where this kind of dance between what we know and what we can perceive, what we can be informed on. For me, this whole universe is a sentient, living energy field, and we are part of it. So they can't help us communicate on a whole different level. Amazing, beautiful. Whether we believe in energy or not, we pull a card, we can use it as a contemplation practice. We don't have to have any belief in anything. We can just use it as an internal mirror. So if I pull, let me pull one for real today, right now. Let's see what. And so I would just, what happens when we pull one consciously is we kind of open our energy field to the awareness of what's around us. While at the same time, for most people, it also ground down deeper and ground up deeper. So we just align ourselves and then think, okay, I'm going to say, what for me needs to come forward into my awareness today? Simple question. You give some beautiful questions in your book, but for me, that's what I'm arising. And this wood. So let me just make sure everybody can see that. We got the snakes, the acorn, the roots of the tree, the maybe fairy being, maybe spirit being, some kind. So talk to me, Martin, Nick, about this card. How would I understand, interpret, how would I use that both as that bridge of communication and in my personal life in a practical way today?
Yeah, absolutely. So that essentially is a metaphor. The wood is a metaphor, and that speaks to the ancient Chinese understanding, traditional Chinese medicine. So wood is a metaphor for enthusiasm, for being a pioneer, for being creative and flexible. And when you look up that card in the guidebook, it gives you the words that help you decode that resonance, how that frequency, that card, that picture has resonated with your energy. When you look in the book, it gives you that insight and helps awaken and connect you with those energies inside. That wood is about being this pioneer, this commander, this direct force of enthusiasm. A wood energy is someone who can get it done.
Always finds a way.
Always finds a way.
Even though if there's a concrete road in the way, it'll just like, and then just like, turn around, keep going.
Yeah.
Very flexible.
Yes, flexible. You think of those amazing pictures of trees growing through different walls and concrete and things like that. So that's the energy I think that wood brings you today. You are rooted, you are determined, you are enthusiastic and connected. And I think that really speaks to how you've been describing your love of the gathering ground and how it's anchoring and holding roots for your community. It's like you are this magnificent oak tree that's holding space for all these acorns to blossom within your community.
Oak spirit, the guardian of this sacred seed. The seed with all the information is right there, and with a little love, it can just grow into an amazing community of like-minded oak trees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beings.
Given the right environment, any seed will grow.
Yeah.
When you provide the environment, you are providing that environment.
Love that. And just talk to us a little bit more, Martin, about some of the imagery that was coming forward for you to use here. You obviously gave us that beautiful understanding of earth. So just as you're kind of really looking at this card, there's so much in it, isn't it? And that's what I mean. Like your capturing of archetypal or elemental, mystical, there's so much. It's such a journey. So talk us through a little bit of this, because I really want.
I think this card has is definitely speaking to my fairy tale, my love of fairy tale, with the fairy in there. So it's like the spirit of wood, where it's really personified with this fairy. She's like the guardian, and she's the spirit of the wood. So this is, I connect and talk to trees all day long. They are all around me, and I live in the forest, and I am a woodman. I'm a woodsman. So I communicate with them a lot. And so the root system going down is yes, the trees for me are a teacher. They're like my guru. They have tons of wisdom to share. The root system and the snake is describing how they seek grounding and go down in deep places where the water goes and the snakes live. And that was just a part of it. I could keep going.
Really?
And we're very lucky to have next to our house, which we're renovating in the forest, it's an old thatched cottage, there is a magnificent oak tree, which is kind of that tree, which is about 300 years old, and it looks very much like that tree.
And we're literally building our house around it, extending it around it,
So
to be more in the tree, in the root system. So the root system will go underneath the house, and the canopy on top, and will be in the field of wood.
So beautiful. I feel like now the ash tree that I'm looking at there, that is the grandfather tree of this land, would much like to be spoken about too. So at least I can say I've spoken about him. And then the beech tree in the very corner of the land here is the grandmother tree. And those are two that I do a lot of work with. So yes, plenty of tree abundance and recognition for the deep guardianship of them. Wow, that's a gorgeous card to pull. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Prune. We've just enjoyed seeing you so much. Absolutely fabulous.
Well, same here, and look forward to seeing you next week in the gathering ground. One of the actually, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Because it absolutely grabbed me. I've been using it as a little bit of a mandala. Martin, talk to us about this symbol, which I know very well, but maybe some of your listeners won't, and the horses.
Yes, the horses are based off Odin's horse, Sleipnir. And he's got 8 legs actually, but I made it 7, and I made it into a unicorn because I'm taking it to another level. And it's surrounded by the symbol. It's a ruin symbol for protection, so that you are completely protected. And this field we have cast, or this field we have set with these cards, are protected in and of the light only. You're safe dealing with these cards. And it's a symbol that the Vikings would put on their armor or their clothes when they're going into battle, because it was protecting them. And we are in a way going into battle when we're dealing with these things.
Yeah, the battle of the warrior of the heart.
Yes, it's a battle for freedom.
Yes, the battle for inner peace.
Inner peace.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, lovely people, thank you so much. Really great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just to say, the Gathering Ground you can access on Prune's website, so it's under her membership. You're welcome to join, and the cards are available via Martin's website. Someone just asked in the comments there, so we'll send some links out at some point, so you can make sure you can find the Gathering Ground and the cards.
Absolutely. All right, lots of love. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you. See you soon. Bye.